In this video session, I am going to talk about one of the important biomolecules of all the living systems. It's nothing but carbohydrates. So let us see the introduction about carbohydrates in this session. The course code is 24PG FNC 103 and the course name is Nutritional Biochemistry. So the objective of this course is to understand the application of biochemistry in the field of food science and nutrition, and to learn the metabolism and the biosynthesis of essential nutrients. The expected course outcomes are: recall the structure, that is biomolecular structure and relationship of macronutrients, describe the biochemical pathways that are relevant in nutrient metabolism. So let us start the session now. Carbohydrates. What are these carbohydrates? They are organic compounds made up of carbon atom, hydrogen atom and oxygen atom in the ratio of 1:2:1. The general formula is CH2O, that is one carbon, one oxygen means double the amount of hydrogen, that is 2 hydrogen. The primary source of energy and the structural role are the major functions of the carbohydrates in our system. For example, we can take glucose. Glucose is energy source. That is a very important energy source in human metabolism. Here you can see that some of the carbohydrate food resources, and now we can see the classification and the biological importance of carbohydrates. Classification of carbohydrates. They are classified into 4 different categories. First one, monosaccharides. Second one, disaccharides. Third one, oligosaccharides and polysaccharides. Example for monosaccharide: aldose sugar and ketose sugar, glucose and fructose. Disaccharides, 2 sugar units, that is monosaccharide, joins together and it forms a disaccharide, for example sucrose. Oligosaccharides, they will be less than 10 sugar units, for example dextrin. Then polysaccharides, homopolysaccharides and heteropolysaccharides, 2 types are there. Homopolysaccharides, for example starch, heteropolysaccharide chitin. And let us see about monosaccharides. They are very simplest fundamental sugar units of the carbohydrates. General formula is CnH2nOn. Example, here you can have the glucose. This is glucose molecule. The molecular formula is C6H12O6. Then they are water soluble. They have sweet taste. And this is the structure of D-glucose. And the bead structure of the D-glucose. This is the ring structure. Haworth projection formula of glucose. And the beads of the Haworth projection formula. Monosaccharides can again be classified by number of carbon atoms. For example, trioses, example glyceraldehyde; pentoses, example ribose; hexoses, that is 6 carbon sugar, example glucose and fructose. By function group, we can again divide them into 2 categories. Aldose sugars, they have aldehyde group as functional group, example glucose. Ketose sugars, they have ketone groups as functional group, example fructose. This is the structure of fructose, and this is the linear structure of the fructose and the ring structure of the fructose. It is a ketose sugar. And here you can see that one monosaccharide, this is a D-fructose, a ketose sugar, alpha D fructofuranose structure. First carbon is here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbon atoms. And you see that how it is forming that ring structure. You can see here the formation of the ring structure of this fructose happens. So in open side you have this structure like this, and the cyclic structure is this one. The cyclic structure, the formation of the cyclic structure happens like this. And based on the position of this OH group on the second carbon atom, they can be called as 2 anomers. One is alpha anomer and beta anomer. This is alpha D fructofuranose, alpha anomer. Examples for this alpha and beta anomers: glucose, it is an aldohexose; fructose, it is a ketohexose. In real lifetime, we have ribose sugar, it is a pentose sugar that is present in DNA and RNA. Some of the properties of the monosaccharides, it's very simple. See that this is a monosaccharide, glucose, and these are all the food, fruit and other food resources of glucose. Glucose is having sweet taste, highly water soluble, it is a reducing sugar. It undergo fermentation very easily. That is why from the glucose and after fermentation we see that alcoholic beverages are produced like ethanol, wine, all these things. For example, glucose which is used in our IV fluids for the patients in the hospitals, intravenous fluid, that is actually glucose solution. This is prepared from this glucose and dissolved in water. And fructose which is present in fruits, fructose is nothing but the honey which is present in all the flowers of the plants, and even some fruits are having fructose. Let us come to the second type, disaccharides. Here only two monosaccharides, they linked together by a glycosidic bond and it forms the disaccharide. General formula is C12H22O11. They are actually formed by a condensation reaction. Here you can see this condensation reaction happens, the water is removed, condensation happens, and you are getting a glycosidic linkage here. This is one glucose, another glucose, and you see that after condensation you get a disaccharide maltose, and this is sucrose, another disaccharide, which is having one sugar glucose and another sugar is fructose. So this is aldose sugar, this is ketose sugar. Both combines together by condensation reaction and it forms a disaccharide. Here alpha D glucose, two molecules of alpha D glucose. You just watch how that condensation reaction happens and water is removed. After condensation, water is removed and you are getting a glycosidic bond, that is a linkage, and because of that you are getting a disaccharide, that is called maltose. Types of the disaccharides, and you see that we have different types of disaccharides. You see that based on the sugar units, aldose sugar combines with ketose sugar and it forms sucrose. So now you can see the structure of disaccharides. Sucrose, it is a non-reducing sugar disaccharide. Lactose and maltose, both are again disaccharides, but they are reducing sugars. In real life situation, you can see that the sugar which is present in tea, that is the sugar what we are adding in this coffee or tea, is this sugar, that is sucrose. This is the sucrose which is extracted from the sugar cane. This is the sucrose crystals. And in dairy industries, we see that in milk lactose is there, that is another disaccharide that is used in dairy industries where milk products are formed. And coming to the importance or biological importance of disaccharide, for example, sucrose, which is actually a transport sugar in plants, which transports major molecules in plants. Lactose, which is present in milk, which is giving more energy to the infants. Maltose, which is present in malt, this is actually starch digestion intermediate, maltose. Then in clinical importance, lactose intolerance people are there, and where lactose intolerance is a very clinically important disorder. This is structure of sucrose and sucralose, and you see that formation of monosaccharides from sucrose, disaccharide. Then next one is polysaccharides. They are actually large polymers of monosaccharides, more than 10 sugar units. This is a polysaccharide. You can see formation of polysaccharide. More sugar units joins together and forms the main chain, side chain, everything. And this is amylase, which is branching. Then you will get amylopectin. Amylose, after branching, it will become amylopectin, where small and lightly heavily branched larger and makes up the branches. And this is the polysaccharide. This is amylose. Cellulose, another polysaccharide. Amylopectin with branches. Glycogen, that is also a polysaccharide, homopolysaccharide, but it is having higher branches than amylopectin. And we can see the different types of polysaccharides. Storage polysaccharides, for example, starch, which is stored in plants. Glycogen, this is called animal starch, which is stored in animals, especially in the liver and adipose tissues of the animals. And structural polysaccharides are cellulose, which is the important component of the cell membrane, cell wall of the plants. And then chitin, another important structural polysaccharide, which is present in arthropoda and fungi phylums. all the insects which is there in this earth are having chitin. So chitin is actually a polysaccharide. This is the structure of glucose, cellulose, structure of starch, glycogen, and chitin. Chitin is a very important one, which is present in cockroach, butterfly, ant, crab, shrimp, lobster. Crustaceans are having this chitin. Other organism, aquatic organism, molluscus, all are having this chitin. And this is grasshopper, which is also having chitin layer. The outer layer is chitin layer. Properties of the polysaccharides: they are higher molecular weight molecules because it is having more than 100 sugar units. They are insoluble in water. They don't give any taste like monosaccharides and disaccharides, tasteless. In real life situation, you can see starch, best example, which is present in rice. This is the starch in wheat, and this is glycogen, which is formed in the liver, animal starch, which is stored in our liver. And this is the plant polysaccharide, cellulose, structural polysaccharide. This is cotton. Cotton, that is actually cellulose, which is present in the cotton, is a polysaccharide. Now we can see the structural comparison. Starch, which is a polysaccharide which is made of alpha glucose, moderately branched. Glycogen is also made up of same alpha glucose but highly branched. Cellulose, which is having beta glucose and unbranched. And functions, plant and animal in both the places, for energy purpose and structural purposes, these polysaccharides are there. This is structure of starch, cellulose, and glycogen. Importance of polysaccharide: you see that starch, which is very important as plant energy reserve. In animals, glycogen is animal energy storage reserve. Cellulose is the plant cell wall support, structural support. Chitin is acting as exoskeleton in insects and other fungi. And application: dietary fiber, plastics are actually polysaccharides. So coming to the conclusion or summary, we have seen about carbohydrate definition, and we have seen the classification, biological importance of carbohydrates. And in classification, we have seen monosaccharides, in that two examples, glucose and fructose. Then we have seen disaccharides, example, best example, sucrose, lactose, and maltose. And we have seen some of the polysaccharides, that is starch, glycogen, and cellulose. And biological role, main role is energy purpose and structural purpose. Now the time for quiz or question and answer. And friends, you can try to answer this question. Which of the following is a correct classification of monosaccharides? A. Monosaccharides are classified based on their taste and solubility. B. Monosaccharides are classified based on the number of carbon atoms and type of functional groups. C. Monosaccharides are classified based on their molecular weight. And D. Monosaccharides are classified based on their color. So what is the answer? Give me the answer. Yeah, the answer is B. Monosaccharides are classified based on the number of carbon atoms and type of functional group. Next one. Which of the following disaccharides is composed of glucose and galactose? A. Maltose, B. Lactose, C. Sucrose, and D. Cellobiose. The answer is B. Lactose. Next one. What is the primary structural difference between starch and cellulose? A. Starch contains glucose while cellulose does not. B. Starch is a branched polymer. Cellulose is unbranched. C. Starch is soluble in water. Cellulose is not soluble. And D. Starch has alpha 1,4 linkage, glycosidic linkage, and alpha 1,6 linkages. But in cellulose it has beta 1,4 linkages. The answer is D. Starch has alpha 1,4 and alpha 1,6 linkage. Cellulose has beta 1,4 linkage only. Next one. Which of the following is not a property of monosaccharides? A. They are crystalline solids. B. They are sweet in taste. C. They are insoluble in water. D. They have reducing properties. The answer is C. They are insoluble in water. And we have some of the reference books, especially a very common book, Leninger, Principles of Biochemistry. It's a very common and fundamental book for beginners. And Lipcott Illustrated Reviews Biochemistry, another important good book. and website, NCBI website and Science Direct web page. You can go there and you can see about carbohydrates. So thank you all. Thank you so much for listening this session. Once again, thank you all. Friends, we'll meet in the next section. Thank you.